my single solitary viewer, Flouze Maker here, and this is the final episode, or at least the meetup, of the World Cup of UHC 2018. Very few players still remain, very few countries still in contention. You have Daffz representing Uruguay. He's got one full diamond and one golden head in store for his opposition. iBlack from Spain has got a half diamond, but a decent amount of healing. Fancy, as we see over here, from Malaysia. Let me try to see. Got 2 gapples, but 3/4 diamonds. There's also Shadun of France, who's got potions. JPEG Jesus, my poor JPEG Jesus. Let me see which South American country he represents, because I keep forgetting. It's Ecuador. There you go, Ecuador. No enchants at all. Probably our big underdog for this finale. It's time to head up and say goodbye to enchantments. Though he could get lucky and find one of the diamond, the enchant tables that Pelargo has left on in the area. He could find enchants just that way. It could be. Ripper Steve is heading to 0-0, and Shadun is basically already there. Before I miss everyone, also in play is Sluggy. JPEG Jesus had decided to make the diamond sword. It's a desperation play, to be honest. But there you go. Sluggy is it Singapore? Yeah, Sluggy is in Singapore. And again, a bit of a underdog, so to speak, in this one. Tiago, of course, of Portugal. Pelargo, better known as Pelargo, the famous render maker, and Ripper Steve M5 of Australia. And these are our finalists. One of these countries will win. We'll remember that essentially none of these players were in such a position last year. I believe Daffz had already died by meetup last year. And all the other players are either new or had died by meetup, or is Ripper Steve. Ripper Steve was the runner-up and basically got second place with the strategy of BTCing, a strategy that he's used again today. Now, Shadun has just gobbled up 2 potions, strength and speed, so I'm thinking he's seeing some opponents as well. Actually, yeah. He is seeing iBlack, but might not see who is behind, which is Tiago with a big set of dogs. Now we'll see, is Tiago going to play this one scummy or not? Nope, by the looks of it, no. Shadun is chasing, and it's going down to melee over here. And Spain is defeated by France. There you go, Shadun getting a 3rd kill. Might notice in the distance Tiago right over there of Portugal throwing the warning shots. Does Shadun have any sort of healing left? He's got 3 gapples. So there's a chance. He didn't get to really sift through the loot with much care and attention. Just wanted to check if Shadun managed to make a power 3 yet. No, it's still a power 2. Still a power 2 is the bow. That's definitely not going to be enough to take care of Tiago. Tiago has wolves, so that's going to be a bother for Shadun. Now keep in mind, I do believe that's Daffz that I see coming into the distance over there. That it's either Daffz or Ripper Steve, who are both in full diamond. And here's the melee. The wolves are doing the trick, but someone here might be coming in for the cleanup. And that might change. The cleaning up is actually like the way Tiago might lose. But unfortunately, Fancy chasing the wrong target. In terms actually of trying to win. You know, if you were trying to win, you have to go for Tiago. If you're trying to get a kill, then maybe you go for Shadun in the other 2. As you see, everyone's shooting Fancy really got involved here at a moment that he probably shouldn't have, and basically kidnapped the fight. And it's a triple chase, or a double chase actually, basically. Shadun taking another potion, this one of strength, and the speed is actually gonna let him take all the distance he needs in order to regroup a little bit, hide behind these blocks. Daffz and Fancy are in hot pursuit. They're not really busy shooting each other at all. They are only interested in Shadun's loot. That's what they want, both of them. And Shadun sees the both of them. He knows that if he does kill Fancy, for example, he's going to have to immediately fight Pelargo right behind him, so he's not interested. Obviously, going with running away as the option. And now Fancy finds himself a victim of Portugal. Not really surprising given the strategy of just inserting himself in the middle of this fight. And Tiago getting a second kill here. Going through Shadun. The strength pot was not enough. Unfortunately for Shadun, I would imagine that Fancy's interference in this fight really changed things for him. So that's it for France, and that's it for Malaysia, right? Tell me I'm not wrong. Yes, I'm not wrong. It's Malaysia. And so only Daffz, JPEG Jesus of Ecuador, Daffz of Uruguay, Sluggy G of Singapore, Pelargo solidly ahead and in a very strong position of dominance in this one with 6 kills, which is more than what PvE has managed to do this game. And Ripper Steve of Australia still in this. Ripper Steve is the one with a whole lot of healing that might be able to compete with Pelargo. The issue for him is that in terms of straight up PvP, if you read the stats like they're baseball players, you'd see that Pelargo's batting average is a lot higher than Ripper Steve. So even though Ripper Steve has also a lot of good equipment, he probably does not have enough to overcome the advantage that Pelargo has accrued so far. Daffz could compete as well because he's got the full diamond. It's completely protection based, and so he'd have to want to melee here. But I don't think his melee weapon is actually strong enough to out-melee Pelargo in this occasion. But here's JPEG Jesus, our favorite underdog of Ecuador. The poor lad has done his best, but he is not enchanted. And every once in a while, in every game of UHC, there's this one unlucky caver that just cannot find anything, no matter how hard he tries. And that is JPEG Jesus today. Just no luck at all in terms of caving. So obviously it's going to be difficult for him to survive. He does Ender Pearl away to live a little longer. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. But it is enough to drain Daffz of a little bit of healing. And it's going closer and closer to the moments where Daffz will have lost any type of advantage in fighting JPEG Jesus. Yeah, down now to 53. He finally kills JPEG Jesus, but has lost so much health in doing so that he's actually lost instead of gained. Just getting nothing, except I guess the 46 gold ingots. Actually, no, he hasn't lost everything. He probably gained a lot. I spoke too soon. I thought JPEG Jesus had nothing. He didn't have time to make healing because he was too desperate to try and find the diamonds and get it at least enchants or something. And so he didn't make himself healing. But he did drop a lot of gold, and that gold is going to become a golden head. And it's probably going to become golden apples in mere moments. So Daffz suddenly have a better chance than he did before killing JPEG Jesus. I spoke too soon. So so here is Tiago heading back closer to 0-0. He doesn't have anyone in the vicinity quite yet. Ripper Steve currently at 0-0. And he's going to be looking for someone to fight. Now, he'll be hoping it's Sluggy, I would imagine. Though I don't think he actually has anything of significance to gain from fighting Sluggy, to be honest. Sluggy is hiding. Close to 0-0. He's got dogs. But he's not quite at 0-0. So Sluggy, I think, is just hoping, praying he can get the cleanup. Now I'm gonna check in here. See, he's got an apple. He doesn't have enough healing actually, or gold left to grab this free little head right here and use it. But Daffz is done. Let me see if Daffz has finished making the healing. Not quite. I'm not sure why. Oh, that's because he was smelting the rest of the gold. I see. So suddenly Daffz now has healing. So indeed, his situation did indeed improve from fighting Ecuador. Tiago still approaching 0-0 with a big detour, actually. Coming from behind the village. Ripper Steve has got to see someone. I mean, there's definitely someone close by. I'm pretty sure Sluggy is hiding not too far away, but I'm not sure where. And Ripper Steve, of course, is just not hiding. But again, in terms of pure stats, he's one of the 5 underdogs. As is Sluggy, by the way. Sluggy and Ripper Steve, in terms of stats of kill-death ratios, are 2 of the 5 biggest underdogs in the game. Now, one of the 5 underdogs was Power MC, and Power MC got a kill and then double killed. So basically, he got 2 kills, and he was one of the underdogs. And Super Gamer Plays was not quite one of the underdogs, but wasn't too far from being an underdog, and he got 1 kill as well. So you never know sometimes. You never know. If the underdog plays enough games, you never know what can happen. So Daff's Ender Pearls to Tiago, because I think he knows that in terms of healing, Tiago really has a big advantage. Now, of course, the deterrent has been deployed. The dogs are on the attack. Dogs really aren't as powerful in 1.8 as they are, for example, since the combat update, where you can't melee click them. But the full melee has not worked, and that and now the Ender Pearl, very sneaky, and there you go, shot to death by Tiago. That was actually fairly close. Really, the Ender Pearl there sealed the deal, because it was at a key moment where Daffz might have been able to heal back up, and so really Tiago shut down that opportunity as fast as he could. Now Ripper Steve is chasing Sluggy, but he's chasing Sluggy straight into Pelargo over there. So I don't know if Ripper Steve will notice the much bigger threat that is looming to his right, or now behind him. But this is a very precarious position that you were in, Ripper Steve. But no, it appears that Pelargo has not noticed them at all and is just running past. So we'll at least see Ripper and Sluggy slug it out before they fight Tiago. Now Sluggy again has forgot to enchant his helmet. I think that's just a complete goof, a forgotten, because he definitely had the opportunity to enchant it before now. He just forgot. Obviously, just forgot. Entirely forgot about enchanting the helmet. I don't think it's going to be enough of a difference maker, because Ripper Steve is in full diamond, so the fact that an iron helmet is enchanted or not compared to diamond armor or full diamond, I don't think it's going to come into play. So that little goof there is probably not going to seal his fate in any way. What he can do is use the height advantage of the hill to really try and get one on Ripper Steve. And Ripper Steve, not very aggressive in ascending the hill. I think he's happy with a long-range fight. I think he figures he out-heals his opponent, but here comes Pelargo. So is Pelargo going to let them fight? Or is Steve going to change the rules of this game? And Sluggy asking politely if he can clean. And yeah, we have 2 specs. Wow. Actually 3 if you count Sluggy. And this is the standstill. Is Pelargo going to let them fight? Nope. Okay, it's going to be Ripper and Pelargo now, as Sluggy spectates. So Ripper has decided, I don't want to be the runner-up, I want to be the second runner-up. I'm kidding. But really, it's actually probably going to be what happens, I do believe. The advantage that Pelargo has taken in this game with his 7 kills is not likely to be surmountable. It would be a very, very, very memorable little moments of underdog pulls it off if actually Ripper Steve did pull it off. I think it would be a kind of those kinds of beautiful UHC moments you live to see. But by the looks of it, that's not going to be the case. Pelargo is actually using all the advantages that he has in his arsenal to make sure that Ripper Steve is truly the underdog in this one. Tiago is not really in any threat of dying at this moment, unlike his opponent, Ripper Steve. Though he doesn't have any dogs anymore, so Ripper Steve, if he could do some laggy melee, that might be to his advantage, but I don't know if he can pull it off on this server. I don't know. I just don't know. But Ripper Steve is trying to heal, but it's not really being very evasive, and getting shot a few times as he retreats. And he almost fell in this hole here. That could have been pretty bad. That could have been pretty bad. But I really don't see how Tiago can lose out on here. He's aggressively pressing his advantage instead of healing, though. So perhaps Ripper Steve, who's actually no, Ripper Steve is still too far down here. I don't think he's got a chance with melee here. There you go. Tiago still at half health. Can dispatch of Ripper Steve, and I think he inherited a few gapples out of this. Actually, he lost some. So that does say that Ripper Steve put up a very interesting fight here, because Tiago's had the net loss of gapples. Net loss, but encouraging Sluggy to come get the stuff, basically, because Ripper Steve worked hard for that stuff. So where's Sluggy? Is he hiding? Or yeah, no, okay, he's there. He's gonna be taking the stuff. Pelargo now at 8 kills and soon probably 9 kills. Does not wants the final fight to be just someone in full diamond wrecking someone who doesn't even have an enchanted helmet. So of course he's giving Sluggy the chance to get some stuff. He'll be able to make 1 golden head. It won't be enough to save him, quite honestly. So might as well let him craft it. There's just no way anyone can actually get the gear. Sluggy would need to be able to melee rush, even then, yeah, because he could grab, if he grabbed Ripper Steve's sharp 3. Yeah, there's still a chance. Keep in mind that Pelargo has a sharp 4. So Pelargo's melee weapon is still the superior one. However, you know, sometimes you never know with a combo wombo. Perhaps with some, you know, Singapore melee lag, maybe that is going to be the kind of thing that the kind of little advantage that Sluggy can take. But he's decided, in fact, instead to take the mountain, and that means it's most likely going to be quite the bow fight. It's going to be a bow fight, and Sluggy basically lands the first shot. But a bow fight is actually not the kind of fight that Sluggy has a chance of winning. Again, just because Tiago has so much healing. He's got healing and he's got pots. He's got Shadoon's leftover pots. Yeah. He sure does. And Sluggy, oh, well, Sluggy has, Tiago even has thorns. Imagine that. In case it wasn't hard enough. So Sluggy actually currently in the health advantage. If he managed to successfully melee rush here, yeah, he would have had a chance. But Tiago's backing away, and oh my goodness, Tiago is actually getting destroyed here. He's got the healing to get back into this, but he needs a moment of respite in order to do that, and Sluggy might not let him. Now keep in mind, everyone, that Sluggy has a 0.07 kill-death ratio. That means that for every 100 UHC he plays, he kills 7 people. For every 100 UHC he plays. Now, I don't want to be you know, mean about this, but that's a very, very bad kill-death ratio in recorded rounds. But here he is, taking it to Tiago all the way. He actually had Tiago on the fence there for a moment. He's out of healing now, so actually, I think Tiago is going to pull through. But, oh, that was so close. That was so close. Sluggy is a one-hit now. I think he's going to get shot. There you go. But that was actually so close. That was actually so close. But that's going to have to be it because the server is restarting in 2 minutes. We really have to end the broadcast now. Tiago barely pulled it off, and his 4 gapples would be used now basically to heal back up. So it turns out that all the advantages he accrued were just enough to kill Sluggy using, of course, Sluggy with Ripper Steve's gear. Portugal is now the new World Cup champion. Chile, the champion of 2017. Portugal, champion of 2018. What country will be the champion in the 2019 World Cup? Well, you'll have to wait 1 year to find out. Until then, this is Flouze Maker signing off as Tiago celebrates his own death.
Sponsored by the Flouze Crew on Patreon.